Alright, greetings all of you guys. This video, by the way, Hassan Abadri with you. Kisses and greetings to all of you, dear friends, loved ones. This video is going to be in English. The second one is also going to be in English. And the third and the fourth is going to be in Arabic. Alright? So just to let you know. By the way, this is a famous song by the composer and the singer and the actor, Mr. Muhammad Abdul Wahab. Not the Salafist one, the artist one, alright? There is similarities with the names. And it's called Ya Msafir Wahdak. That means you lonely traveler. Okay, you lonely traveler, and you leaving me. Why you traveling alone and make my mind busy? You know, Ya Msafir Wahdak وسايبني لتبعد عني. So, without further ado, let's try to see the video and hear the video about There Is No Clash, presented by the parrot Claire Forestier. It's called How to See the Seventh Heaven. How to See the Seventh Heaven. And There Is No Clash. So let's take a listen.
Time, but how far back in time can you see? Could you see with a big enough telescope the first stars and galaxies? And could you see the light from the great flash of the Big Bang itself? As we look out, we look back in time. We cannot look infinitely far out, since sooner or later we will see the Big Bang. The universe started from an extremely hot and dense era. As we go backwards in time, the universe gets progressively younger, hotter and denser. But how did the cosmos go from extremely hot and dense to being filled with the multitude of stars and galaxies that dominate the night sky today? The Big Bang Theory tells us that the history of the universe's creation is a history of space eras. Each era in space lasted for a specific period and played a specific role in the formation of the universe after the Big Bang. For example, there was an era where light and matter are formed, an era where light and matter are coupled, an era where light and matter separate, and an era where atoms start feeling the gravity of a cosmic web of dark matter. An era where first stars start to form, a reionization era, and so on, until the era of the many stars and galaxies that exist today. Amazingly, even though each of the past eras is considered a stage in a sequence of events that led to the creation of the universe, the evidence of each era still endures, and scientists and astrologers can still see each of them. In an article written for Space.com on March the 17th, 2014, entitled Cosmic Inflation, How It Gave the Universe the Ultimate Kickstart by Carl Tate, there is a very interesting infographic that summarizes the Big Bang space era. It's a picture of a man's...
It is quite amazing that you see how the Muslims are really manipulating information and manipulating knowledge, scientific knowledge. Like here right now, Miss Claire, actually, I know she's reading and she's not thinking what she's saying. She's just a parrot repeating what she's reading from the monitor. I don't care. All right? I don't care. I just have objection to what she's claiming. Okay? I don't care what she thinks. I don't care what she's saying. I don't care really. But I'm caring about the message that she's delivering. Here we see that she is mentioning the inflation as an accurate fact, and she's using it to support her claim, while the inflation itself, it does say clearly and states clearly with the multiverse issue. Okay, inflation does allow multiverse, multi-universes. Okay, multi-universes. And by the way, inflation also claims infinite amount of universes. Not even one, not two, not million, nor billion, nor trillion, nor trillion, nor sectillion, quadrillion, etc., etc. No, infinite amount of universes. Infinite. And now she's claiming that, yeah, according to the inflation and according to space.com, and space.com, you said, right? That's really weird, because according to space.com that you're mentioning here right now to support your claim, actually they have 10 stages to the Big Bang. They don't have 7. As you mentioned in the beginning of your video, you mentioned there are 7 stages of the Big Bang. Go to space.com and they have it in 10 stages. By the way, the stages of the Big Bang, you can make it as many stages as you want. There is no real fixed stages. What we call in physics, we call it epochs. There are certain fixed epochs of the universe, all right? But stages, you can make as many stages as you want. I can give you 50 stages. From the Big Bang until now. I can make it 50 stages. Not necessarily 7. I can make it 20 stages. I can make it 15, 17. I can make it 3 stages to support the Trinity of Jesus Christ. For example, I mean, there are no certain stages. There are what we call in physics, we call it epochs. A certain epoch, all right? And a certain epoch, that's actually the division of from Planck scale, from Planck time, until the formation of stars and galaxies. Anyway, continue. Oh, disconnected.
And back in time. The photo explains that your eyes can see back very far in time to the degree that you might see the great flash of the Big Bang itself. But to reach this farthest point, your eyes must first pass 7 eras that took place over the past 13.7 billion years. These 7 eras are the solar system era, the galaxies era, the proto-galaxies era, a reionization era, the first stars era, then the dark ages era, until you reach the great flash era of the Big Bang itself. Each era represents an event that took place during the history of our universe. The Big Bang caused the universe, and thus the galaxies in it, to expand such that most galaxies are moving away from each other. The most distant, and thus the youngest galaxies, are moving away at a very fast speed. Because of the time it takes light to travel, the further away we look, the further back in time we are looking. The further away we look, the younger things are. In fact, as we look farther and further away, we've found galaxies that go back as far as when the universe was less than 1 billion years old, just a few % of its current age. This illustration compares various telescopes and how far back they're able to see. Recently, NASA announced the launch of the Webb telescope as a successor to NASA's iconic Hubble Space Telescope. The Webb telescope has a much bigger mirror than the Hubble. This larger light collecting area means that the Webb can peer farther back in time than the Hubble is capable of doing. In other words, the Hubble telescope can see the equivalent of toddler galaxies, and the Webb telescope will be able to see baby galaxies. Remarkably, long before NASA's Webb or Hubble telescopes that could peer into the mysterious night sky, the Holy Quran told us that the history of creation is a history of 7 space eras, each of which took place in a specific order mandated by God in the process of the universe's creation. It's worth noting that at the time of the revelation of the Quran, the word space was not known, and people used the word heaven to refer to what lies above the earth. So in the Quranic verses we're going to mention now, the word heaven is referring to what we call space. Just as the Big Bang Theory tells us that the history of the universe's creation is a history of space eras, with each era playing a specific role in the formation of our current universe for a specific period of time.
No, the theory of the Big Bang doesn't explain the space eras. All right, so don't try to really manipulate the words, all right, play with words here. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It explains everything. The fabric of space-time, the matter, energy, mass, radiation, everything. It's not only specific space-time, all right? And you're trying to link it with heavens, as the Quran mentioned it, all right? So don't try to fool us, Miss Claire Forestier. Who are trying to fool here? We are not dumb flock of sheep following you and believing what you said right away. We have very skeptic minds, unfortunately for you, and for the other Muslims too, all right? So the Big Bang, I double dare anybody to bring me the Big Bang Theory paper and does say that it is the evolution of space-time only. It doesn't say that. It doesn't. All right? So don't try to fool us, please. Respect our minds. Because when somebody is trying to fool me, I consider that somebody is not trying to respect me. He doesn't give me enough respect. He's trying to fool me. Okay? So I'm not going to respect whoever is in front of me. the respect value to that person will go down and down and lower and lower. Anyway, continue.
The Holy Quran narrates exactly that in chapter 41, verse 12. The Holy Quran tells us that during the process of the universe's creation, God completed the heavens as 7 heavens, and he made in each heaven its affair. What's even more interesting is that at the end of that verse, the Holy Quran says that God adorns the nearest heaven with lamps. The term lamps here refers to the moon and sun, and now science has proved that the solar system is really in the nearest space era to Earth, as light travels from it to Earth in only 14 hours.
No, actually, here the Quran exposes himself, and Allah exposes himself by committing a huge physics error here. Because before that verse, dear Claire Forestier and dear Muslims who claim miraculous claims with such verses, before that, God states clearly He created Earth first. He created Earth first. Then He adorned the sky with lamps, the moon and the sun. That's impossible. There is no freaking solar system forms planets first and then the star forms. It's impossible. It is impossible. Utter impossibility, really. It's impossible. The star always have to form first to create the bending in the space-time. Okay? What we learned in general relativity, you know general relativity? GR from Einstein? There is a saying, there is a famous saying. Matter tells space how to curve. Space tells matter how to move. Okay? So, in that sense, the star has to be created first to create the bend in space-time, to create the effect of the gravity. Then the dust and gases around that star starts to orbit the star and to form planets slowly. It cannot go in reverse. It can't. Simply can't. Alright? If you have some new physics model of how our solar system formed, by all means present it to us. Present it to us. It's going to be revolutionary, really. It's going to be revolutionary because you're going to really debunk Einstein, you're going to debunk Newton, you're going to debunk, really. It's some revolutionary theory of gravity, really. Obviously, Muslims have some revolutionary theory of gravity by how planets form first before the star, before the mother star forms. Just like God stated in the Quran. أولم يرى الذين كفروا بأنه خلق الأرض في يومين ثم استوى إلى السماء وزينها بمصابيح. Alright? Do those unbelievers see that God created earth in 2 days and then He went to the sky when it was smoke and He adorned it with lamps? Alright? So He created earth first, then He adorned the sky with the sun and the moon. Yeah, very scientific. It goes 100% with physics. Really, who are you trying to fool here? Who are you trying to fool here? Anyway, continue. This is really funny because here we're going to see, just like the last video, we're going to see like the Muslims, they use terms, okay? Just a couple years ago, they use it in a different way. Okay, just like the anchors in the previous video, which I also refuted. In previous video, they say the anchors are rawasi, alright? And Muslims were for decades telling us, this is a miraculous scientific claim, alqa fiha rawasi, which means the mountains, which they have pebble under it, and how could Muhammad see the bottom of the mountain? That means it's miraculous claim, scientific miraculous claim. And you, in the previous video, changed that word, rawasi, and you made it like the anchor for gravity. Wow, so the meaning now is changing. So the meaning now is changing. And now also you're going to see the meaning is changing. Because seven heavens, just decades ago, the Muslims were claiming, yeah, that's a miraculous claim. Because how could Muhammad knows the layers of the atmosphere in Earth? The layer of the atmosphere in Earth is 6 layers. And there is above it, there is the sky. That's the 7th layer. And that's also a miraculous claim of Muhammad. How did Muhammad know the layers of the Earth atmosphere? You see, the same exact 7 skies, 7 heavens. The same exact concept, the same exact vocabulary. But now you see the Muslims, how they manipulate words. Now you're going to see it. It's not the atmosphere layers. Now it's the 7 stages of the Big Bang. Wow! Wow, where were you guys? Where were you? Where were you when Georges Lemaitre in 1927 came with his Big Bang theory? Why you were quiet? Why were you quiet? Why were you quiet? You should, since that time, since the 30s and the 20s, you should have said it right away. Like, hey, Georges Lemaitre, you didn't come with something new. We have it already in our book. But of course, as usual, the Muslims are dumb and stupid. Okay? They wait for the modern physics to prove that things are real. Then they go back to their book and they say, yeah, it is actually mentioned. We are too dumb and too stupid to understand the words of our God. We're waiting for physics to explain the words of our God. You should be ashamed of yourself, really. But anyway, continue.
In another verse, verse 6, chapter 37, the Quran says, "Indeed, we have adorned the nearest heaven with an adornment of planets," reaffirming again that the planets of the solar system are in the nearest space era to Earth. Now, assuming that the current age of the universe is about 13.7 billion years, the timeline of the universe indicates that planet Earth was formed when the universe was about 9.15 billion years old, 2/3 of its current age. The timeline of the universe also indicates that around this time there was a transition from decelerating to accelerating expansion in space. This accelerated expansion prevented any more inflationary structures from entering the horizon and prevented new gravitationally bound structures from forming. This exactly matches the Quranic timeline of the universe mentioned in chapter 41, verses 10 to 12. In these verses, the Holy Quran tells us that the earth was formed in 4 days out of a total of 6 days, namely when the universe was 2/3 of its age. Then the verses continue to tell us that after earth had been formed, the heavens, what we now call space, continued to increase in size, what we now call accelerating expansion. In 4 days, he made in the earth what anchors from high above it, and put barak in it, and equally measured out sustenance of its dwellers for those who ask. Then he directed himself to the heaven while it was smoke. Then verse 12 says, "And he completed them as 7 heavens within 2 days, and he made in each heaven its affair, and adorned the nearest heaven with lamps." In his book, The Dragons of Eden...
I mean, again, you exposing here, really, your ignorance with math. Again, oh my goodness. Okay, the age of the universe now, it's 13.8 billion years. And you say that God created the earth in 2 days and he completed it in 4 days. And 4 days, that's equivalent to 9 point something billion years, which is 2/3 of the age of the universe right now. And the earth is actually, and then the skies, he completed it with the 1/3, the rest of the 1/3. Nobody said that, actually, from Muslim scholars. All the Muslim scholars, they claim literally that earth got created in 2 days. 2 days. هو الذي it's been stated clearly in the Quran. هو الذي خلق الأرض في يومين. Really, God created earth in 2 days. It's stated clearly. I mean, come on, who are you trying to fool here? Really, stated clearly, like there is no playground here. Really, it's stated clearly, concretely that earth got created in 2 days. And of course, you claim that the 2 days means the 1/3 of the age of the universe. Wow. If the universe is going to become 20 billion years old, what is the age of Earth in ratio to the age of the universe? Can I have an answer for that? The universe currently is 13.8 billion. And according to the Earth's age, 4.5 billion, that's 1/3 of the age of the universe. If the universe is going to become 20 billion years, what is the ratio of Earth according to the Sun, according to the age of the universe? It's going to be less than 1/3. So here again, proving that the Quran is incorrect.
1977, Carl Sagan popularized the idea of the cosmic calendar, which is a way to visualize the history and chronology of the universe, scaling its current age of 13.7 billion years down into 1 year to help us normal non-physicists better understand it. God Almighty has done the same thing in the Holy Quran, condensing the universe's age in 6 days. Moreover, although we know that the Earth is round, it's actually more like a bumpy spheroid, NASA has determined the geometry of the universe to be nearly flat. And God tells us in the Holy Quran that he completed the creation of the space's 7 eras in a flat shape. In chapter 2, verse 29, the Holy Quran states, "It is he who created for you all that is in the earth, and then he directed himself to the heaven. So he completed the 7 heavens in a flat shape."
What? That's some new translation for the Quran. I am really amazed to see so different translations for the Quran. When it fits you, you change the translation right away. Do you know that it's considered a blasphemy to change the words of God, of Allah, with translations? Let's go to the... Okay, let's see here. Alright, so... let's go to verse number 2, which is Al-Baqarah, which means the cow. Okay. And which verse was it? Which verse? Verse 29. Okay. So, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 29. So, let's read it in Arabic. And let's see, does it mention really that the skies and the heavens were in flat shape? Let's see. Let's see if that's an accurate translation. So, Baqarah, verse 29. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن 7 سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. Where is the flat shape of skies? Where is it? There is even the English translation under it. And this is, by the way, Sahih International. That's from Saudi. That's from the heart of Mecca. They are mentioning this translation, by the way. From the heart of Mecca. The literal translation of the verse, I can also read it in English. It is he who created for you all of which is on the earth. Then he directed himself to the heavens, his being above all creation, and made them 7 heavens. And he is knowing of all things. You hear this translation? Let's read the translation of Miss Claire Forestier, and we see how it differs from this. The translation of Claire Forestier is as follows. It is he who created for you all that is on earth, and then he directed himself to the heavens, so he completed the 7th heaven in a flat shape. And he knows all things in a flat shape. Where did that flat shape come from? Really? I mean, why are you lying? هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن 7 سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. أين الشكل المسطح? Where is the flat shape here in this verse? Even the translation in English from Sahih International, it stands, and he who created all of that which is on earth, then he directed himself to heavens, and he made them 7 heaven, and he is the knowing of all things. Where is the flat shape? Why are you lying? Why are you lying? You remind me of that song, you know that meme? You know that meme, that black guy? Why the fuck you lying? You know why you lying? You all I got. Why the fuck you lying? Really? I mean, really? Hold on. Let me... Just a sec. Give me a second.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Indeed, you deserve this meme, Miss Claire Forestier. Really, because you're lying, obviously lying. Come on, it doesn't stand in the Quran like that. And fortunately for us, we can read Arabic. And we can translate Arabic to English too. So, unfortunately for you, we can expose your lies. Unlike some Pakistani people or Indian Muslim people, they don't understand Arabic, so they believe the bullshit that you're throwing at them. But here there is an Arab who can understand Arabic and English, and who can speak it and who can translate it from both languages. So, unfortunately for you, unlucky. Better luck this next time.
Knows all things. Interestingly enough, the Holy Quran also references what modern physicists now refer to as the cosmological principle. The cosmological principle is the notion that the spatial distribution of matter in the universe is homogeneous and isotropic when viewed on a large enough scale. In simpler terms, this principle is telling us that the universe is uniform, and thanks to today's telescopes, we can now observe the uniformity of the universe by looking out and back in time through the different space eras. Now, would you believe that the Holy Quran told us 1400 years ago that we can observe this uniformity by doing the same exercise of looking through space eras, when it stated, "Who created 7 heavens one upon another? You will see no non-uniformity in the Merciful One's creation. Look again, can you see any flaw?"
Wow. So, I mean, really, there is some, obviously, guys, there is some updates with the translation of the Quran. When it suits the Muslim, he can update the Quran and he can translate it as he likes, you know. They change the words of Allah, you know, that's a blasphemy. That's ultimate haram, you know. You shouldn't do that. Miss Claire Forrest here. So let's go to the verse. The verse is chapter 67, verse 3. Let's go again. Chapter 67. Chapter 67, which is Surah Al-Mulk. Verse 3. Okay, I'm going to read the English. Okay, and then I'm going to read the Arabic. Then I'm going to read the Sahih International Translation of the Quran. Or actually, I'm going to read the English, her verse, and I'm going to read the English verse of the Sahih International. Alright, the verse that Miss Claire Forstier is claiming, "Who created 7 heavens one upon another? You will see no non-uniformity." You see no non-uniformity in the Merciful One's creation. In the Merciful One's
creation. Look again. You see.
Who created 7 heavens one upon another? You will see no non-uniformity in the Merciful One's creation. Look again. Can you see any flaw? Alright, so let's see what Sahih International says about this verse, the translation of them. Who created 7 heavens in layers, not one upon the other, in layers. That's Sahih International. You do not see the creation of the Most Merciful any inconsistency. Any inconsistency. And there you say, no non-uniformity. Changing of words there. Changing of vocabulary. Changing of meanings of words. So, return. Do you see any breaks? Any breaks? And there you say, Miss Claire Forsty, do you see any flaw? And the Arabic actually is really far from that. From both translations. The Arabic verse says, الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر فهل ترى من فطور. Alright? Where is no uniformity in this verse? And where is futur means flaw? All of a sudden means flaw? Alright. Cool. Continue. Before you continue,
why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop your fucking lying.
Yeah. Continue, Miss Claire.
This uniformity among the universe's distant regions led physicists to come to an important conclusion in the Big Bang Theory, that these distant regions of the universe we see now must have been in contact with each other in the past prior to cosmic inflation. This again is consistent with what the Holy Quran revealed 1400 years ago, when it stated, "Have those who disbelieve not considered that both of the heavens and the earth, each of them, was as one united piece, and we separated each of them and made from water every living thing? Then will they not believe?" Think about this for a moment. The Holy Quran is telling us that the heavens, or the space eras as we now call them, were one united piece, and then God separated them, just as science now asserts that the distant eras of the universe we see now must have been in contact with each other prior to the Big Bang, and then, thanks to cosmic inflation, became widely separated eras. But it doesn't end there. The verse is also telling us that planet Earth as well was as one united piece, and then God separated it, another consistent fact with science. The young Earth was a rock with the same composition on its surface as in its inner layers. Then the Earth went through a separation process called planetary differentiation, since it was formed 4.5 billion years ago. This differentiation is separating Earth into multiple layers based on their density, meaning that the Earth's interior is zoned by density, with the heaviest material residing at the centre, the core, and the lighter stuff floating about at the surface, the crust. One verse of the Holy Quran, two incredible scientific facts confirmed.
Well, heaven and earth sticking together, if that is what you're claiming, and it got separated, and that's what you're claiming also, that's mentioned by the Babylonians as the Sumerian creation, 4000 BC, before Judaism even. So does that mean the gods of Sumerians and the Babylonians were correct? And does that mean you're claiming that the Quran stole the creation from them? And by the way, the creation of the Sumerian and Babylonians was also divided into 6 days. And God on the seventh heaven, on the seventh day, he rested. What a coincidence, just like the Judaism and just like the creation of the Muslims. So I wonder, whom is stealing from whom here? Alright? So that means, guys, that means Marduk, Enlil, Baal, those Sumerian gods, those old Sumerian gods. I don't think Baal is Sumerian, but Marduk, Enlil, etc., etc., etc. Those gods are the real gods. Those are the accurate scientific gods, because they superseded the Quran by millenniums, and they superseded also the Jews by 2 millenniums. Okay, 4000 BC, they mentioned 6 days creation of heaven and earth, and they were also stuck together, and heaven and earth got separated. Okay, and again, exactly just like the Torah, just like the Old Testament. And he called the above sea, he called it sky, and the undersea, he called it sea. Just like the Torah. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. All right? And also created earth first, and also created a human from mud. Just like Adam got created from mud and dust and clay. What a coincidence. So you've proven, in other words, that the Sumerians and the Babylonians are the true gods. And you are the false god who's just stealing from old civilizations. Stealing their creation story. Thank you. And we come also to another big trouble for you guys. For you Muslims, especially Muslims. I'm not going to attack Claire, because Claire, she's obviously a parrot. A parrot, just repeating, without thinking through what she's repeating. She's just reading from a monitor. So I'm going to attack the Muslims who claim that the 7 heavens are the stages of the Big Bang. Alright, I'll accept that idea, that claim. I'll accept it. But then you have a huge problem, actually. Because the trip of Isra and Mi'raj, your prophet went to every heaven. And in every heaven, he met a prophet. So that means the stages of the Big Bang, there is a prophet at every stage. Let's go to the Isra and Mi'raj and read. So, the first heaven, of course, the angel Gabriel, or Jibrail in Arabic, picked up Muhammad on the horsey. It's not a horsey. They say it's دون الحمار وفوق البغل. So it's below donkey, above the mule, the animal with wings. Alright, and he flew Muhammad without astronaut suits. Okay, he flew Muhammad to the 7th heaven. So according to the story of Isra and Mi'raj, okay, they say that the first heaven, let's see here. The first heaven, they knocked on the door of the first heaven. The door opened, and there was an old man sitting there. And Muhammad asked Gabriel, he said, "Who is that guy?" And Gabriel told him, "This is your father, your great father, Adam." So the first heaven, Muhammad met Adam. So obviously Adam, guys, is in our heavens. Let's go search for him. The second sky knocked on the door opened, and who he met there? He met Yahya and Isa. So he met John and Jesus in the second heaven. So obviously, guys, John and Jesus is in our heavens. Let's go search for them. And the third heaven opened, and he saw a very good-looking guy. A good-looking, sexy guy. And he told him, "Who is that guy?" And he told him, "This is Joseph, the son of Jacob. Yusuf ibn Yaqub." You know, because Joseph supposedly really good-looking, sexy hunk. You know, like Leonardo DiCaprio or something else. I don't know. Alright, that's the third heaven, by the way. So let's go and search for Joseph, guys. Joseph, Adam, okay, John, Jesus, they are all in the heavens. Let's go search for them. Obviously, they are in our heavens. They are inside the universe. They are inside our universe. You see the exposing of your lies? How you can put yourself into troubles instead of getting out of it? Let's see the fourth heaven. The fourth heaven, he met Idris. That's some Islamic prophet. And the fifth heaven, he met Aaron, the brother of Moses. And in the sixth heaven, he met, let's see who he met here. He met Moses in the sixth heaven. And in the seventh, he met Abraham. Alright? So, obviously, Adam, John, Jesus, Idris, Aaron, Moses, Abraham, they are in our heavens, guys. They are sitting somewhere, hiding somewhere. So let's go and look for them. Let's go and look for them. Because obviously they are inside our universe. The Big Bang stages is within the fabric of space and time. So they are inside our universe. They're not outside in another dimension where God resides. No, it's in our dimensions. So those guys, those 7 guys, they're obviously in our heavens. That's the Isra wa Mi'raj. You know, Muhammad knocked on every heaven's door, opened. Adam knocked on the second door, and he saw John and Jesus. Knocked on some door, he saw the Joseph, the son of Jacob. Knocked on the 5th and 6th and 7th, and he saw Moses, Aaron, Abraham. You know, so they are obviously in our universe. Thank you for exposing the lies that you mentioned. Thank you. I appreciate it, Miss Claire Forestier. And you've proven yet again that you are just a parrot being paid just to repeat the words what you read in the monitor. And trying to fool those naive people who cannot read Arabic and cannot understand the Quran in its original language. Thank you. So that's all, folks, for this video. The second video will be right away in a minute. Again, a video from Miss Claire Forestier. And then after that, I'm gonna do another 2 videos in Arabic. As usual, cheers, love and respect. Kisses to you.